Alrighty, friends, how are you today? Aaron here, bringing you your daily horoscope for April the 4th of 2020. It's another beautiful day, my friends. It truly is a beautiful Saturday, all right? Depending on where you're at in the world. Either way. So, April the 4th here, we have a lot going on upstairs. All right, what's going on upstairs? A lot of ruckus. All right, so we've had some sort of completion on Friday, which was really nice to have Mercury passing Neptune. And I used an expression yesterday about silencing the noise. And in a meditation, I realized there's always both sides. And it's like today, what's happening on Saturday is creating noise from silence, okay? We're creating something from stillness. We're creating something that maybe hasn't been there, okay? Where there was a lack of, we're creating and pushing forward with something. So while we're getting rid of noise on one end, moving into our own stillness, our own silence, or what has been silent, is now going to start creating ripples, creating its own noise. And that can be for a very, very positive influence and effect on our lives as well as a whole. Okay, let me show you the chart here. Now I've got it pulled up, instead of noon, I've got it pulled up to 11 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Because that's when everything comes into an alignment right now. All right, this is cool. So this is the Jupiter-Pluto exact conjunction is happening between what, 10 and 11? Yeah, between 10 and 11 p.m. Okay. As well, we see this grand Earth trine happening. Okay, so that's the South Node release. We're releasing fear, releasing old karma, releasing concepts of the authority, okay? Letting go of some old karma. We are connecting with the breakthrough, okay? There's a breakthrough here on, a new world, my kingdom here, Taurus. What are we releasing to break through to a new kingdom? And then further over here is an emotional need. Now, when I look at Virgo, I also really like to think of being unconditional. It's one of my favorite views. Now, there's a lot with Virgo. There's precise, analytical, and in a pro or con way, whatever. Very organized. There's there's all kinds of things, but at the same time, it's about being unconditional. Every fall, all the trees and whatnot, they go internal. They start to spring here, blossom and whatnot during the spring, really full bloom in the summertime. And then here in Virgo, this is like where the work gets put in. It's like all this food that was created, these beautiful flowers, the food that we've harvested over the year, this is when it's just like we understand that its job was to be picked, that the strawberry serves a better, I don't know exactly when strawberries are in season, but it doesn't matter. It's the point. I should know that actually, but it's like, the strawberry on the bush is certainly beautiful, but the strawberry plucked and doing its purpose, serving its purpose, being plucked to be eaten, it's a greater good. You know what I mean? So there's that, separation of something, but yet we're taking it in, and it's, nutrients for our bodies, for our mind, for our soul. So it's about giving, So Virgo moon is about giving, being unconditional in how we're giving. Okay. Now, at the same time of this grand Earth trine, which Earth trines are about being practical. Okay. We want to create something. Again, maybe there was noise, maybe there was silence. Okay. And it's time for us to sing. It's time for us to go out into the woods and sing, and unite. However we can do that right now, or whatever we need to do that right now. And as well, Okay, again, today is a magical day. Magical day. All right. As well, we have a yod. Now, there's a lot to see here. So, not only do we have this grand Earth trine, but the moon, let's look at these quincunxes, that sideways looking K thing. Quincunx means 5/12ths of the zodiac. Okay. So, we have a quincunx to the moon over here to Mars, and from Chiron over here to the moon. That's these quincunxes. Okay. Now between Mars and Chiron, from air to earth, to fire, excuse me, is a sextile. See that little asterisk right there? I know it's kind of hard to see it through this, but that's a sextile. So what this creates is called a yod, or we call that the finger of God. Okay, so the fact that we have the moon lining up in Virgo with a grand Earth trine to break through Uranus, creating something new. We're creating new breakthrough, new solid, stable ground, new breakthrough, stable foundations. Okay, we have to let go of something, some sort of a fear that we're holding on to, okay, in order for us to truly achieve that. But with the help of the moon being unconditional in our nature right now, an understanding that, certain things must die and come back alive, and to be of service for the greater good of self, right? Really, really powerful to have both of those happening at the exact same time of this Jupiter-Pluto conjunction. Okay. This is awesome. All right. And then, again, I've been talking throughout the week on one side, the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction. Jupiter being expansive, Pluto being about shadow, about death. We could have been experiencing parts of our own ego this past week and leading through this week. Fears of ourselves, the fears, fear of not being good enough, fear of not being able to survive, fear of not being worthy of something, fear of only having one thing work out in a certain way that's like, no, it's got to be like this, or in Capricorn, it can be like a very specific thing, like to reach that goal, the top of the mountain, and not to be deterred. So it can be like, this is the path, this is the way, and I'm fixated on it, So those can be like the shadowy side of the shadow that we're dealing with within ourselves. Again, our own parts of our own personality. Okay, that it's just saying, look, this is a once in a 13-year thing that happens, and the next time it's going to happen is going to be in the sign of Aquarius. 13 years from now. It'll be singing a very different tune. But at the same time, this is reminding us that we certainly are an authority. We're an authority over ourselves. All right, we are our own authority. And it is up to us and ourselves, our personalities, our daily disciplines, on what we're choosing to do and how we're acting as that authority. How we are putting on our own king crowns, queen crowns, being the earthly gods and goddesses that we are, and the responsibility, because Capricorn is about a lot of responsibility, very responsible. And it's just like, we have to look out not just for self, but it's like this business as a whole, and looking at life as that as a whole. Something we talked about, I think, a day or two ago as well, is it's like, or maybe this was in one of my monthly horoscopes. I think it was one of the monthlies. It's about, we have an interesting take on the world right now where a lot of people want to be seen. I want you to see me. I want to, there's a healthy and unhealthy side of social media, most certainly. There's a healthy and unhealthy relationship with both. But we have a lot of people that want to be seen, want to be acknowledged, but that aren't actually taking the time to acknowledge and to see other people. And that is what we need to be focusing on right now, is seeing the other people. It's, hey, you're working for me in my company. You're offering a service to me, Virgo moon, you're offering a service to me. And I'm looking at the numbers and the overall head up here and doing my job as this business person, and I'm just expecting you to do your job. This kind of separation. Okay, I'm just gonna do my part and you do your part, and we don't have to cross ways. But it's just like, well, it's up to the boss. Okay, Capricorn is the boss. It's up to the boss. It's up to the king, the queen, the ruler, the god, the goddess, and you, to acknowledge those people and their hard work that they've done, that they are doing, So we have this flip, where it's like, if we ever feel lonely, okay, if we ever feel afraid, ask ourselves, what is our fear based on right now? If we're feeling lonely, then odds are pretty good somebody else is too. And you can think about the person maybe that you want to reach out to you. Oh, I wish so and so would hit me up, or I'm scared about this. Think about somebody else. I wonder how they're dealing with this. I wonder how they are. And then flip your fear. Okay, I'm going to coin that. Flip your fear to where it's you're not, it's like, okay, you're the boss, and here's Davy's numbers down here, and it's just like, you're not coming at Davy in the sense of fear. Are we going to get the project done? Is this going to get done in time? Or are we going to hit the numbers? Are we going to whatever, But it's just coming at him, and, or him or her, or whomever it may be, and saying, how are you? Dropping the fear part of it altogether. How is the project coming along? How are you feeling? How are you doing right now? What's good in life? How have you been staying busy during quarantine? How's your whatever coming along? To be involved in other people's lives and to truly seeing other people instead of just trying to be seen. This is a huge part of this whole process. Again, it's the strawberry growing to be plucked to be eaten. It's, and we might have a painter out there that's going to paint the strawberry in this beautiful painting, or a photographer that's gonna find it when the mist and the dew is just right in the early morning sunrise and take a photograph of it, and it can be immortalized or whatever. It can be appreciated there in that moment for that. But the ultimate goal is for that strawberry to be seen, to be appreciated, to be plucked, to be used in a healthy relationship way, and to be consumed, right? It's the end goal for this strawberry. And then that's the service to the strawberry, by us taking care of our garden, by us watering it, by de-weeding it, and this garden is our lives. So what watering that we're doing for ourselves, how we're de-weeding ourselves, taking the time for oneself. We can look at this quarantine, this whole thing, as a huge positive, okay? Now, there's certainly loss, there's certainly sadness, and that goes with anything in life. I never want to downplay this, but that goes with absolutely anything in life. I know it goes with anything in life, leave it there. But we can look at this as a positive. We can look at this as, this is the time that I needed to work through my shadow. This is the time I needed to rebalance, to recenter myself, to take the time off of work to get things done around the house. This is a time for me to connect deeper in the relationships with my family, connect deeper in the relationships with my home, my home life, my children, my parent, my sibling, my roommate, whatever it may be. To gain better relationships with self and better relationships with other people. And this Jupiter-Pluto conjunction is certainly aiding to this whole process, working through our own shadow and allowing ourselves to flourish, and with a lack of one thing, there's an abundance of something else, where there's, where some of the poorest communities in the world are still joyfully abundant, rich in internal happiness, and America's been living a little bit off the fat of the land, and we need to gain some of that. So with loss comes great gain, right? And this particular day, we should be understanding, or have a deeper, better feeling to loss and gain, and appreciation for what we have, appreciation for what is, appreciation for understanding that things do come, things do go, things do come back around, When we let go of fears and allow breakthroughs to come into our lives, we can be very focused, very focused. And again, this Mars sextile Chiron, okay, this is really beautiful, really powerful. That will be happening for the next couple of days, even when this yod passes. But it's just like when I am seeing the other, when I'm giving back, when I am, being focused, emotionally focused and driven in looking at the future and really healing parts of myself. Okay, Chiron also square to the nodes. So where you have this trine, emotional fluidity of release. Okay, emotional fluidity and healing and release and healing and emotion. Okay, and that emotion also quintile up here to Saturn and Mars. Okay, so quincunx, excuse me. So the North Node, again, following your heart, following your emotions, being compassionate, being empathetic. And it's just like we are looking at the big, bright future. We are allowing changes to come into our lives. We're letting go. We're releasing whatever needs to be released to allow this, focused vision of the future. And what does our heart need? What is our emotional needs? It's like time to be focused over the next 2.5 days of our emotional needs. So Saturday, Sunday, into Monday. What are your emotional needs? How can you fulfill them? Are your emotional needs something from the outside source? That's another part of this Uranus in Taurus. It's saying, like, is it an outside source that's going to provide you your happiness? And it must come from inside. And then the outside source becomes much more fruitful and grateful and appreciative of that when we do have it. Again, it's why I say I love you, I wish you enough at the end of these videos. It's like everything is in balance. And this is a beautiful day of learning that balance. Our own shadow, our own light, where we're headed, where we're going. My friends, have a beautiful, beautiful weekend. Very transformative weekend. I love you. I wish you enough, and I will see you tomorrow.